Paul, I think I'd like to go ahead and have you play the audio since it's a time to be exactly 1 minute.
Great.
Our Boston Collaborative Teacher Leadership Fund project was using interdisciplinary projects to strengthen student participation, engagement, and learning. It was designed to offer an alternative to the online platforms many of our students are using to earn their academic credits. We began with a student forum addressing the question, how might water be used as a weapon of racism? Next, we met with Boston Water and Sewer Commission to discuss access to clean water in Boston. We then worked with students on the specific questions that would drive their projects and what credits they could earn. 12 students chose project-based learning and will soon be sharing their work on a webpage we hope to create. We believe that through these projects, we did indeed strengthen student participation, engagement, and learning.
Awesome. This is, here you go. Bruce, are you with us?
Sure, and I have my partner Paula Pickett from the Homes. My name is Bruce Pompran. I am a civics government teacher at Tech Boston Academy. My partner at the Homes for this project is Paula Pickett. We'll split this, Paul, half and half. So I'm proud to say I'm 17 years at Tech Boston, and this is probably one of the most exciting things that I've done in my teaching career. What we did is the Tech Boston Civics in Action course, which focuses on housing, which is comprised mostly of off-track learners, partnered with the Homes Elementary School, the 5th grade, and we met every week as a course to develop green housing options in our neighborhood. We worked with Andrea Campbell's office and her staff, who became part of the class, to look at abandoned or vacant city lots in our neighborhood. We worked to find profiles of our families. Then we designed tiny homes using Revit software, which is the professional architectural software of industry. And we worked together.
Thank you. Wow, come to.
We worked together to design homes, and we have some great designs. Unfortunately, we didn't get to present like we used to because of COVID, but maybe Paula can explain some of her perspective from the 5th grade angle at the Homes. Is Paula there?
Yeah, I am. I was muted.
Okay,
Sorry.
right.
We
Okay.
built teams through Zoom to design all aspects of what families in the city would need, and really put it at financing, affordability, environmental. The students were great. They showed up every single week for our classes. We were missing a little bit of the camaraderie that we built in person, but we did our best on Zoom to really create that culture of seniors working with 5th graders. And we really just facilitated and set the stage for them and let them run with it.
And, for impact, this will continue even without the support of TLF, because this is our last year doing it. But we both found that the attendance, especially with my kids, the attendance was the best of the week. Students that didn't necessarily find engaging learning in a traditional class, this was serious. Yesterday, we had our senior project presentations. Kids were showing off their work, and this was a high point for so many of the students at Tech Boston. So once again, thank you for this opportunity. And with Paul and I continue.
Thank you, Bruce and Paula. Woo. And we're going to hear from the Greenwood. We're going to play the slide.
Yes, and it will likely go over a little bit, but feel free to pause as you need to.
Okay, I just have to. I'm missing my missing the button. Hang on a second. Crystal, for some reason, the audio button is not showing up for me in presentation mode. I don't know why. Is there any?
Can I maybe play it now? I believe I have it on my.
Sure. Yeah, rock it. Absolutely. I'll put it back up.
Okie dokie. So I wanted to go ahead and have this recording because not all of our 8 members were able to be here tonight. And it was really a collective representative of our school, of all the roles and what it meant to all of us. So I'm going to go ahead and play that now. And just give me a heads up if you cannot hear. And my name is Cristal.
What has the Greenwood Garden been to us thus far? Yo soy Cristal Alcalá y el Jardín Greenwood ha sido para mí una aventura de la vida.
I'm Anna, and the Greenwood Garden means hope to me.
I am Rebecca, and the garden means real experiential learning to me.
Yo soy Wanda. El jardín significa una atmósfera de serenidad y belleza para mí.
Hi, I'm Camille Swaggerty, and the garden for me means revival and nourishment. It's bringing light and new energy to our community. It means fresh starts and opportunities for.
Hello, my name is Kate Boyd. I am the health and wellness educator for the Sarah Greenwood, and I am very grateful to be a part of this project. It is so much more than just gardening. It's about caring, nurturing, and not just what's growing in the soil, but each other. Our students were able to witness growth, and it's just so exciting to see what can happen when a group of individuals come together with a vision and an open heart. And I really cannot wait to see what happens in the fall and where we'll end up. And I look forward to tending to our garden over the summer with some of our students and staff. And I'm just very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, hi, I'm Jackie Ahrens. I'm the reading specialist at the Sumner Elementary in Roslindale. And our project was Roslindale Reads with Relevance. We aimed to tackle the problem of our school having no centralized book room for educators, as well as a lack of diverse texts where our children and our students could see themselves in literature. So we convened a team of teachers across all grade levels, and we worked together to create a tool to use for identifying the 7 forms of bias in children's literature. We created kind of like a question checklist for teachers to go through books in order to identify what forms of bias were present in our literature. And then we presented a whole staff PD, and grade level teams used our tool to analyze curriculum text that they've been teaching with or that they wanted to teach with. And then we also organized a full school-wide book order to have grade levels, after thinking about bias text and what they know about text, go through different lists and order new books to supplement curriculum, to provide small group reading intervention, and just to build a culturally relevant anti-racist book room for our school and our teachers to use. And then our next steps, because we haven't actually gotten to use the books this year because of how this year has gone, is to unpack all of those books, create the book room, and create a system for teachers, and do a little bit more PD with our teachers on how to continue finding bias and use the new text that we have. So, and to apply for year 2 so we can continue our work. Thank you.
Do we have a rep from the Mather? No worries. If not, we'll move along to McKinley.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Victoria Downs, and I'm the school psychologist at all of the McKinleys, but today I'm talking about McKinley Middle School, and this is Get in the Zone. We were trying to create a meaningful sensory experience for our students. This proposal is from McKinley Middle School, which we affectionately call St. Mary's because it's on St. Mary's Street. As you know, our school is a public day school for students who have a primary disability of emotional impairment. And the purpose of this grant proposal was to help train staff and obtain equipment to adequately design, create, implement, and effectively use a sensory room that meets the needs of our students with complex social, emotional, behavioral, and academic challenges. We really got together and thought about this being a solution-based intervention that's going to build capacity. And it was an opportunity for our students to increase self-awareness, empower healthy decision-making, and allow for the development of self-regulation and advocacy skills. And we see that many of our students who have emotional impairments often do not get are in need of the sensory piece, but do not have access to the sensory rooms. So due to the pandemic, we were able to kind of put together sensory kits. We were able to get our staff trained. And next year, as the guidelines lift, we'll be able to order our equipment, which includes the installation of a platform swing, trampoline, and some crash pads. And I just want to shout out Emily Clifford, who's also on the call. She's the guidance advisor who led this, and that we were a multidisciplinary team. That was really important, that all disciplines were putting our heads together to figure out how we can serve our students best to help them self-regulate, help them teach themselves how to self-regulate. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tatiana Oveso. I'm the ballet program director in the dance department at Boston Arts Academy, and William McLaughlin is the dance chair. Thanks to the TLF funds, we were able to work with Susan Kinney, who is a well-known physical therapist who has worked for over 25 years at Boston Ballet, with Children's Hospital, the Boston Conservatory at Berkeley, to name a few. Ms. Kinney was able to assess all the students. They perform different exercises so that she can become more familiar to what their physical needs were. Thanks to that, Ms. Kinney was able to create different PowerPoints with valuable information that included full body strengthening and stretching exercises for core strengthening, for their rotators, to improve the strength of their feet, just to name a few examples. 40% of the students received a personalized evaluation and a program to follow. After 10 weeks of incorporating the program, the students reported to increased body awareness, more strength and flexibility. I was able to check in with them on a weekly basis, and they saw the improvement and enhancement in their training. The other benefit was that the whole department was able to benefit from the exercises Ms. Kinney provided us, because all three of us, the dance teachers here at the dance department, have access to the PowerPoint. So we were able to incorporate those exercises into our classes. So all the students were able to benefit and get stronger, more flexible, and of course, to prevent injuries as well. So moving forward, we're going to continue to work with this program because we saw the great benefits, and try to make sure that we keep going and incorporate other somatic training as well. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Jessica Sager. I've been working with a group of teachers and staff and administrators at Snowden International School at Copley. We call ourselves the beloved community after Martin Luther King's message that we need to become a beloved community. Our journey really began last summer when 10 of us signed up to attend the Dismantling White Supremacy Culture in Schools, facilitated by Joe Truss. It was an incredibly powerful training, and at the end of it, when we were meeting as a small group, we said we have to do something. Enough is enough. And out of that came our beloved community and our work that eventually led to the Teacher Leadership Fund grant. So we used the TLF grant to have further small group professional development with Joe Truss. He helped to focus our group, help us create a vision. We brought in even more staff to work with him. There was a group of 15 of us that really thought through who we are as a community at Snowden and who we want to be in the coming years and how we get there. So we are continuing to deliver as high impact professional development as we can to our staff, and continuing to open our doors as a community to as many staff as are willing to get involved at this level. Although our staff has shown an incredible willingness to work in their workspaces to become more anti-racist and to really challenge our traditional way of thinking at school.
All right, we're going to go back. Christine has joined us from the Mather. I just want to also remind folks that when you're done speaking to put yourself on mute. So Christine, take it away.
Hi, thank you. Sorry that I was not here when my slide went by.
Ken?
No worries.
Yeah, I'm on the highway, but I left the cake.
We were Christine, Julie Harlehy, and Leah Serena. We had a COVID TLF grant, and we decided to focus on SEL and how to incorporate current events into our second step. So we created a calendar where we found different, whether it was anti-racism or culturally responsive events that were going on that we could incorporate into second step. And we had some grade level representatives that were helping to create slideshows to share with the grade level teams. We had one centralized location where all of that lived. And we also merged with the culture team. So we took our group and we all attended the culture team meetings, which I think was great to kind of make sure that we stayed with SEL on our focus. It was very difficult this year with COVID and being in the school and out of school, but I think having a centralized location where people could go and look for the lessons and having the lessons prepared and already ready to go in a virtual world was very helpful to people. And then we also had a newsletter that went out each month where folks could easily find links to get them to the slideshows that they were looking for.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Christine. And now we're going to go back to BDEA. And then the Adult Learning Center will be after that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shantae Bonds, and I'm a math teacher at BDEA. I am joined with Sarah Fass, who's one of the other partners on this, a part of this grant team here. And so we have a voiceover that we tried to embed in here, had a tough time doing that, but I do have the sound clip with me, so I'll play that for us.
The grant grew out of the need for a common tool to help students think through math problems, recall content, and build strategies across classes. We wanted students to do more of the cognitive heavy lifting. We realized that instructional strategies varied significantly from teacher to teacher, causing confusion. Creating the booklets has helped us align our instruction and provide students greater consistency.
Our team spent several months researching note-taking practices, vocabulary development, and retention strategies. The booklet reflects our learning around the effectiveness of interactive notes, consistent visual representations, and precision in defining key mathematical terms and concepts. The resource booklet consists of interactive reference cards on a variety of topics that build across courses such as proportions, percents, unit rate, multiplicative comparisons, expressions, and equations. Many cards include a core or touchstone problem to aid students' understanding and retention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brooke Machado, and I'm here with Karen Greaves. I'm representing adult education. So I was inspired to share this quote that I stumbled upon, and I'm putting it in the chat. It says, though no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new beginning. And that quote kind of embodies the work that we are doing at the adult education department. And what I have here is well, first let me tell you that the project that we work on was helpful to our ADP program. ADP stands for the Adult Diploma Pathway. And this program offers Massachusetts adults who did not graduate from high school a path towards earning their high school diploma. In our program, students complete performance-based tasks that are assessed by an outside reviewer using a rubric, and we are 2-year recipients here of the TLF funding. So in the 2 years, the work that we have done has strengthened our program, and the picture you see here is one of our first graduates who graduated last June from this program. This student, her name is Maria, she came to our school after she arrived here from the Dominican Republic. She did not speak English, and she took classes with us for a few years, expanded her English skills so much that she joined our high school diploma program. And I think the quote that I shared just embodies how important the work is. And we're so thankful that this funding has allowed us to make it even better by developing the curriculum, including exemplars. We're so excited, and we hope to have many more graduates and success stories going on. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Erica Pastor. I'm the school library teacher at Orchard Gardens K-8 Pilot School, and I'm here with one of my colleagues, Becky Quinn, who will introduce herself in just a few seconds. We have been working very hard to really build a true culture of reading through joyful reading and self-selected text. And we were doing a great job before the pandemic. And then of course, everybody knows how that went. And so we were looking for ways to get kids together with their teachers and really experience that joy that we do when we're in school through different books. We also have a lot of students, most of our students are very reluctant to pick up chapter books on their own because they just don't have the stamina, even if they're reading on grade level according to a short assessment, they just are not experienced enough with chapter books, but they love them when we read them as a whole class. So we started after school book clubs, and they turned out to be really remarkable. And I'm gonna let Becky, who was one of the book club leaders, talk a little bit about how that experience was.
Yeah, hi, I'm Becky Quinn. I teach 3rd through 5th grade ESL at Orchard Gardens. And this was just such a wonderful opportunity to connect with students in a different way, in a non-academic way, in just a very joyful way for us to share a book together and talk about a book and really create a safe space for kids to show up on Zoom and meet with a teacher they don't normally see, or see kids they don't normally get to see. And it allowed me to connect with some learners that I taught 4 years ago when they were 1st graders. So it was just a lot of fun, and looking forward to doing more things like this in the future at our school.
And one thing I'll just quickly add, I think this was Becky's experience too, grandparents and parents really got into the books as well. And so it was also a way of engaging families in reading together. So we're really thankful for the funding and hope that we can continue with the funding so that we can launch even more book clubs next year.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Malz-Kuhn. I work as the ASL specialist at the Horace Mann School for the Deaf. I'm so grateful to be able to have this opportunity to get this grant. So in the middle of 3rd grade, as you can see, so my students often grow up thinking that they're going to become hearing, or that they have no future, that they won't make it to adulthood because they don't have any role models of adults in their lives who are deaf like them, who also have the same color skin, who identify as the same culture, race, or ethnicity. We don't have that representation. Most of the school's teachers are hearing white teachers, and that means that they don't see themselves in representation in these important roles. And with seeing all of that, the team got together and developed this library. It's a corpus. Imagine a library bookshelf that has different stories and different novels that you'd be able to read. Those are great, but those are all in written English, which isn't accessible to all of our deaf students. It's not in their first language. It's not a way for them to feel like they're able to do it. So we had 7 authors who are staff at our school that were signers. You can see the images up top. They signed their stories about what it was like for them growing up as a person of color deaf, what it was like being an immigrant, what it was like going to school when they weren't looking like somebody else. There's advice and stories and rich experiences that are shared. There are a total of 19 stories shared via video, and this is only the beginning. We hope that we're going to be able to continue to film more, and the goal is to be able to say that representation is important and that students know you matter. There are 3 different words that have the same sign: important, value, and matter. All have the same sign in ASL, and we want the students to know that they are important, that they matter, and that they are valued, that they can have people to look up to who are members of the BIPOC community, who are also deaf, that sign that can be what they can be when they want to grow up. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My colleague Amy and I teach students with learning disabilities in substantially separate settings at Josiah Quincy School, with Amy teaching primarily 2nd and 3rd graders, and I teach 4th and 5th. Our school is in the process of becoming an international baccalaureate school, with an emphasis on inquiry-based transdisciplinary units for each grade level. The units are centered around 6 transdisciplinary themes that are listed across the top of this hard-to-read diagram on this slide. But they're who we are, where we are, place and time, how we organize ourselves, sharing the planet, how we express ourselves, and how the world works. The challenge we set out to address was modifying these units for our classroom, given the unique context of having 2 grade levels in one room, and also making them accessible for students with learning disabilities.
And so we took the pre-existing thematic units that already meet the curricular standards for social studies and science and have been approved by our IB coach. And then looking at the 2 intersecting grades for each class, we picked topics that would impact our scholars the most in terms of functional, adaptive, and testable skills. We've established all 12 units and started to adapt and modify the 12 units, 6 for each class, obviously, and 2 in each thematic unit. And then each of the units will include, UDL practices, backward designs, lesson planning. And of course, individual lessons may change with implementing for next year because we're not really sure what students and scholars are going to be coming into our doors next year. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Before we go to McCormick, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, and we're going to hear from Alexa from the O'Donnell, and then you all get this preview of everything else that's coming, and then we'll go from there. Alexa.
Awesome. I'm Alexa. I teach K2 at the O'Donnell, and my project was based on some of the COVID work I did in the spring when kids were sent home and kindergartners initially didn't get tech, Chromebooks or iPads or anything on the first round. The best way to access kids at home was actually YouTube. And I was creating a lot of video content and sending it out to them, and they could access it through just the cell phone for many of them. And it was really successful, and therefore I applied to this project, and I used the money to take some online courses in guided reading and phonics over the summer from Leslie, and then use what I learned to create a guided reading and phonics intervention series that is entirely pre-recorded and housed online, that we could, in the idea to use for intervention, but then with most of this year being remote, this became a living, breathing document for a lot of video content, was then lined up with Seesaw and used in that regards. It still lives. You can access the URL at the bottom, and the videos are available for any teacher who wants to use them.
Awesome, thank you. We're gonna go backwards to the McCormick team.
Great. Thank you, Paul. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jess Wrench. I'm a school-based clinician with the Trinity program at the McCormick Middle School. I'm representing our team, but our team was the 8th grade team at the McCormick Middle School, as well as our school adjustment counselor. And our project was in response to something that I know we all were responding to, which was concerns around student mental health and motivation and engagement with school, but also just in general outside of school as well. While we had other interventions in place previous to starting this project, as one of our 8th graders told us, adult intentions were good, but their solutions were lacking. So our project was aimed at really creating space for our 8th graders to tell us how were they doing, what did they need, both inside of school as well as outside of school, and then attempt to respond to the things that they told us they needed. We created a series of opportunities for self-care and reflection during 8th grade civics. We did about monthly circles with students where they were in very small circles of between 3 and 6 students with an adult, doing both community building as well as telling us as adults what was happening for them and what did they think adults didn't understand about their experience so far. From there, our intention was to focus on creating a series of self-care kits with materials for students, especially the 25% of 8th graders who are struggling the most, focused on the coping strategies they told us they normally use but didn't have access to with the school buildings being closed, which was yoga and mindfulness, art and music, as well as fitness. And then we had a series of community-based experts lined up to teach workshops to those students who would receive the self-care kits to kind of teach them how to use the materials. Unfortunately, we have yet to receive the materials. So we are hoping to use our 8th grade knowledge from this year to provide self-care kits for our 8th graders next year as they're transitioning back into more of a full-time in-person school situation. So hopefully our 8th grader knowledge from this year can just kind of inform interventions for future 8th graders at McCormick.
Hi there, I'm Kristen Russo from Binka and I teach 12th grade ELA ESL. The recommendations from our 2020 grads and the need to promote social connection and community throughout COVID pointed to a need to develop a peer mentoring program at our school. So we implemented a bi-weekly 7-month program between seniors and sophomores. This grant afforded us the time to meet weekly with our partner, who is a psychologist from Boston Children's Hospital. We trained our seniors how to support the sophomores' social emotional learning, and in the process, they learned about their own well-being. Mentors met with their mentees during our combined classes, and they led virtual activities like collaborative games and reflective protocols. We dropped off care packages in March, and students used the materials during sessions to create identity masks, self-care plans, and we even planted succulents and decorated the pots with affirmations. We also responded to current events and facilitated circles about anti-Asian hate and racism. Our main objectives were to raise awareness around mental health and create safe spaces for students to build connection and community. We collected some feedback from students. You can see what they shared on the slide. Thanks so much for this opportunity.
Hi, if you can please play our slide, that'd be great. This year, we had the privilege of reflecting on our current teaching practices and improving our curriculum design to mirror the educational framework designed by Dr. Goldie Muhammad in her book, Cultivating Genius, an Equity Framework for Culturally and Historically Responsive Literacy. As we work to design our own units of study, we aim to incorporate more identity and development and criticality framework into our existing units of study, as our current units are more focused on skills and intellectual development of students. The important work in creating a whole child-centered curriculum requires a lot of time and training for teachers. We have had to learn, unlearn, reflect, and critically consume the content that we want to put in
put in front of our students. A collaboration with community organizations like Little Uprisings was critical in assisting the team in designing a robust curriculum that stayed true to the framework by Dr. Goldie. We are still in the middle of working through revamping our fractions unit through the lens of this new framework. We will probably work into the summer to finalize this unit. What we have found in the process of redesigning how we teach math and literacy is that it all needs to be somehow connected to bring relatability to sustain the interest of our students. This is something that we as a team is exploring on how to pursue a year-long curriculum map with Dr. Goldie's educational framework.
Hi, I'm Anna Shapiro, and I'm a member of the Housing Justice Committee. This is a BTU group that started by teachers at the McKay, and I want to shout out Ann Finkel, who had to step out for really spearheading this work. Basically, a lot of us during the pandemic were sort of experiencing a lot of really different needs from our families and just a lot of other needs exacerbated around housing structures. So we wanted to learn how to better support our families through all of this. So throughout the year, we've been partnering with City Life Vida Urbana, and we hosted 3 trainings for teachers and school staffs, both to hear some experts on how to best support our families, and also about some of the organizing that's happening. Also, just wanted to note, due to restrictions in the TLF grant, we did have 2 BPS families come and tell our stories and share sort of what would be most helpful for teachers to do for their families. And we were actually only able to pay 1 through the grant funds due to just a restriction on not being able to directly stipend families. So our committee ended up funding them instead, but just wanted to put it out there that we know we can gain so much information for our families. So if we recommend reconsidering that requirement. But overall, we had really positive reception from our trainings, and people who went to them were saying that a lot of the ways that we talked about resources and the things they learned felt like really important beginning of the year information. So we're hoping to continue this work next year. Also, this committee has existed for 1 year, and if you're interested in joining the work, we would really love to have you. And I am putting our BTU link in the chat if you'd like to join us. Thank you.
Always be organizing. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gina Desir, and my partners in this project are Clara Lucienne and Rena Stone. We started this project as a way to create an anti-racist curriculum that tackled the issue of invisibility and omission of Black truth, excellence, and joy in curriculums. We looked into the ideas of scholars and leaders such as Zaretta Hammond and the others you see on the slide. They all helped us to formulate a clear understanding of how an anti-racist curriculum should be and the implications of it within our classrooms. To begin the work, we had to look at the gaps in the curriculum we're currently using. We dived into the work of Dr. Goldie Muhammad's book, Cultivating Genius, to guide our practice both in the classroom and in lesson planning. We sought for students to be seen in literature within our class. Thus, we purchased a wide range of literature that included many cultures. Although the project primarily focused on Black students, it was important that all students within our class still felt visible, valued, and so that everyone could experience joy. This project is only the beginning, as we plan to continue this work across content and standards next year. Thank you.
Maria, you're up. Are you with us?
I forgot to unmute myself.
No worries.
My name is Maria Anidi. I'm at the Mildred Avenue School, K through 8. And we worked on childhood homelessness amidst COVID-19. And then school nurses' perspectives. We all agree that childhood homelessness is a pernicious problem, not only in Massachusetts, but all over the United States. And you look at this, 1.5 million homeless children attend public schools. So I am so grateful that you've given a team of nurses to work on this project. So we had to have a team of nurses that meets every month to brainstorm on different ways to help this cohort of students. So to increase the ability to for them to decrease the complex challenges that they encounter on daily basis. And also to find a way to have an increased care coordination between teams and different school departments, both within and outside the community. So we meet every month and brainstorm, have meetings, and we coordinated with national homeless consultant to help us develop a tool, because we know that nurses have the ability, the skill, the experience to help these children, but they need a renowned tool to assess them and to be able to care for them and refer them where the needs are. And then we worked with McKinney-Vento's team of staff to find out ways to bridge this gap for care coordination so that we can share data and then come up with adequate resolutions on how to assess these students and refer them when their needs are. So we came up with developing a tool that we are going to share, teach the nurses on how to assess these kids and refer them. And this template we've already sent it for approval so that it will be incorporated into the SNAP system for nurses to use. And we have a guide for them to do the proper assessment and then know when to refer these students and how to assess resources for them. And then develop partnerships with other teams on the use of these tools. We also developed work with School Health Academy for them to present this work in a webinar during fall, so that we'll be able to educate BPS nurses on the use of the tool and give them a guide on how to use it through the webinar, and we provide them continuing education units. That will be an incentive for them to use to come to this. And
Maria, last thought, if you could.
Sorry?
If you could wrap up with the last thought, please.
Okay. All right. So further, we know that we have to improve on utilization of this, and including it in SNAP, and then finalize our plans for the webinar. I know this is a huge project, but I know this is the first step towards this journey of 1,000 miles that we are all excited to embark on. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Allegheny team.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Joanne McCoy Lawrence, and I am representing the Dante Alighieri School in East Boston. The Dante Alighieri Montessori School in East Boston. And so my colleagues who are not here today, Kate Scheid and Matthew Godino, Kate wrote the grant. And so we did more of a focus on curriculum, the social emotional learning. So, so we chose read alouds that reflect the diversity of our students and values of the Montessori curriculum, and characters that also demonstrated the values to empower our students. So as a result, we have Social Justice Friday, every Friday, where one period is used to for the social justice curriculum. So if it's okay with you, Paul, can you please play the audio? In the middle? In the middle. Click the middle.
I can.
just the middle, yes. Should be there. Is it not there?
It wasn't. It was not there for me.
It was not, the audio was not there? Oh, wow.
Oh, wait a minute.
A little slow?
It was
Oh,
high.
here it is. That's it. Yes.
Dr. Montessori said, an education capable of solving humanity is no small undertaking. It involves the spiritual development of man, the enhancement of his value as an individual, and the preparation of young people to understand the times in which they live. This has been a year unlike any other. Through the lens of social justice, a school community worked to enhance our social and emotional learning and wellness by building on ritual and routine. Whether we were remote or in person, our Social Justice Friday routine acknowledged the collective and individual trauma we have experienced, introduced us to problem solvers and agents of change across place and time, and empowered us to take action to make the world better. Like a cosmic education, Social Justice Fridays invited us to come forth to contemplate the stars together. This is exactly what we did.
Awesome. Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
Working with me on that. Brenda.
Hi there. Do you want me to share my screen? I can share the video.
Oh boy. Sure. Yep.
Great. Thank you. I'll make it quick, I promise. It's 56 seconds.
Perfect.
All right, here we go. Hi there. We had a great success with our portfolio reviews. We used defined learning, and they were flood control specialists and restaurateur, using the idea of GRASP, where they had a goal, a role, an audience, a situation, and a product. And here are some of the products that they were able to create from our portfolio process. They created sea barriers using Tinkercad, and they had some amazing resources that they used to build that using Tinkercad. Then they built their own restaurants, was the other version that they were doing, where they had to have a menu and a photo story of the work that they did and an advertisement. Thank you. Okay. All right, back to you, Phil. I mean, oh my God.
I'll take it. No worries, no worries. We are in the home stretch. Team Ellis, Saika.
Right, so Saika cannot speak for 1 minute, and so take it away, Stephanie.
Okay.
It's gonna echo. Good afternoon, everybody. I am here from the David Ellis. My name is Stephanie Morales. I'm an SEI 3rd grade teacher, and I am representing my amazing team that was able to work fabulously together for the TLF. And shout out to all of you guys that are here. Okay. So with these materials, we were able to notice significant growth in such a short period of time. Our goal was to increase decoding skills in students who have high listening comprehension in order to increase reading comprehension. We found that many of our students did increase in decoding skills based on the intervention tools we used. It also gave us a meaningful way to use map data, which was a huge opportunity for us as educators to not let the map data control us, but use it to manage and help our specific students' needs. We believe that a consistent use of these materials will allow us as educators to focus on, again, these specific targets and work along with the map data to understand areas of improvements. So we are very, very, very excited to use these materials and continue next year. And looking forward to it. Thank you, everyone. Buenas noches.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pierre Jean. I'm a teacher at BENCA, Boston International Newcomers Academy. So my project is called Black Tea, and what it is that it was a professional development initiative that provided a safe space for staff members to come together monthly and talk about race as a school community at BENCA. At our school, we had already identified a need for more anti-racist work, and for the staff, it was actually one of the most popular requests for PD in our 2019-2020 final staff survey. Our school has embraced the diversity of our immigrant students, but we had not had open discussions on racism, microaggressions, and systemic racism yet. During the pandemic, we had also witnessed police brutality, peaceful protests, vandalism, and clashes with the police that were racially motivated. These events had disproportionately affected students and teachers of color, and we needed to come together in solidarity as a community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chanel Andrews. I'm one of the teachers at the GRU. Our project was GLAM, so Girls Leading, Advocating, and Maturing. We focused on SEL growth within 3rd to 5th grade students. And the way we organized our programming was kind of like in modules. So we focused on identity first, then we moved on to leadership, and then advocacy and service. So we helped the girls with their personal development through those areas. Our sessions were made up of different workshops or different activities where we brought in the resources that we were able to purchase with the grant or utilizing some of our community members. Even in that little picture, you can see when we were doing something for self-love, the girls made their own body butter. So that's something that they can take with them. We did a lot of reflection with the girls and with the groups. We got a lot of family input about where the girls were given the pandemic, what they needed. So sessions ranged from hygiene to body butter making to hair care. And some of these workshops were even requested in the bigger school community. So we know that we had an impact not only on the girls that we were servicing, but in our bigger school community. Something that worked really well was most of us had those students. So we already had this relationship with them. So we were able to push them in ways to challenge themselves and just like increase their self-image and confidence. We're looking forward to doing this again. Thank you.
Thank you. And O'Donnell went earlier. So Antoinette from the Adams, you are up.
So in this project,
there you go.
Hello, my name is Antoinette Stotts. I'm an ESL teacher at the Samuel Adams. We're a K0 through 6th grade school. Ours was a study grant, and we chose systemic functional linguistics, or SFL, for our students because we're a majority ESL and FEL school. And in this writing program, there's a strong emphasis on language development. So this came out of our instructional leadership team. And we recognized this year the grant was intended to that every classroom teacher would take the SFL courses at Boston College. And that didn't happen because of the stressors of COVID. So we recognize this will be a process. Next year, we already have classes scheduled for teachers to take at Boston College, and there is coaching involved. We recognize that it's going to be a process to transform the way writing is taught at the Adams. And we will continue this work into next year. And I just want to say we are very grateful and appreciative of the Teacher Leadership Fund for the opportunity to dramatically improve the writing at Samuel Adams Elementary School.
Hi, my name is Morgan Cohane, and I am the school librarian at the PA Shaw Elementary School.
On behalf of the entire Shaw team, thank you to the Teacher Leadership Fund for funding our project. And I also wanted to thank the Boston Children's Museum and Vertex for their collaboration on this project. And Paul, if you wouldn't mind playing the audio, that would be great. Thank you.
Love to.
They loved using at school. Without supply, when the pandemic hit, Shaw students expressed their sadness about no longer having access to the STEM materials they loved using at school. Without supplies at home, it was difficult to keep students engaged. We wanted to ensure that all students could continue exploring their STEM-related interests during the pandemic. We created supply packs of recyclable materials and tools that were distributed to students and families, along with engineering and design activities. Teachers also engaged in professional development to become familiar with STEM learning platforms. We learned that providing physical materials allowed families to support their children at home in learning the essential skills of collaboration, creativity, and communication. It resulted in the empowerment of caregivers, allowing for high-quality hands-on learning to happen at home during the summer. The data we collected confirmed our original thinking that STEM activities would positively influence student interest in science, engineering, and math. We have continued distributing new supply packs and STEM activities throughout this school year.
Philbrick, Suzanne, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Hi, I'm Suzanne Brown, and thanks to the TLF for funding this. And this is part of an ongoing project of outdoor classroom, which became very crucial this year, especially as kids came back. I have, can you play the audio?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Brown. I'm an ESL resource room teacher at the Philbrick Elementary. My project is outdoor classroom. The challenge that led to creating an outdoor classroom is that my students have been learning virtually and remotely for a whole year. Even when they came back to school, they spent most of the day in front of laptops. I felt that it was essential to get back to a multidimensional, multisensory world to learn. It turned out to be the best thing to do. The students I see have a day, Fridays, for outdoor classroom where we go outside and do observations and work in the garden. This has led to questions, research projects, oral language development, sketching, and labeling, which I integrate into their regular curriculum throughout the rest of the week. The interest the children have shown has been amazing. Both the students I work with and other students throughout the building who are stopping me in the hallway or the schoolyard to ask, "Can I work in the garden with you?" Even among my own students, outdoor classroom is the big day of the week. One first grade student kept trying to wear a coat all week because today is outdoor classroom. My next steps for the coming year is to deepen my curriculum and broaden my outreach to my coworkers so all children in our building are accessing the outdoors.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bobby Shea, and I work at the Carter. For most of you that don't know, the Carter School have multiple disabilities and complex health needs, including communication, motor, and visual impairments. With 2/3 of our students learning remotely and the rest having some level of hybrid learning, we need to find a way to provide our students with a rich educational experience while learning from home. Our answer was Readtopia, but we couldn't use the materials as is, so we created a team of dedicated educators to work on adapting and improving the accessibility of this new literacy curriculum. And I will hand it over to my partner, Lena.
Hello, yes. The adaptations as modeled on this slide included using red and yellow or bubbled text against a high contrast dark background and minimal visual clutter. And because of this group, we were able to make it through 6 different Readtopia units, and we saw increased student engagement and use of intentional responses. And this was demonstrated by student Ben, who used his eye movements to pick what information he wanted to share about himself and questions he wanted to ask of others, participation in relevant writing activities, positive responses from families, and cohesion across in-person and remote learners. This has opened our eyes to the possibilities of using literacy to increase the cognitive demand of the tasks we present to our students. So thank you for this opportunity.
Last but not least.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Thornquist, and I'm a teacher at the Hurley K-8 in the South End, and I'm joined by one of my team members, Denisa Lopez from the Umana. who is here with me today. And we are representing a project done in collaboration with all the different dual language programs in Boston. This all stemmed from a need that we realized we needed as our programs don't fit our unique needs. And teachers needed more support that wasn't necessarily being given in general in the district. So we decided that we wanted to fulfill that need and provide teacher development that was led by teacher experts in the community. This was initiative we started a year ago and we continued this year. But this time we also wanted to include student voices, and we did that through panel discussion, different workshops. We invited families to our workshops. We built networks with different leaders in the community, dual language community. And we look forward to continuing to build on this project in years to come. Thank you.